for that person, the difficult decision is, do I keep going, striking out and losing, and hopefully I win? Law of averages. I mean, something has to work at some time, right? Or do I say, this is not for me, I give up my dream and I settle in because I have to pay bills? You know, do I continue to plug away at something, one thing, two things, and just make those two things my goal because this is what I really want? That's a difficult decision, right? Look at this. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Deep MCs, the podcast that seeks to push meaningful conversation to a whole new level. Whether it's for your entertainment or your personal growth, we appreciate you being here today. And now, on to the show. What's going on, man?
What's good, bro?
Oh, you know, hey, we are here. We're here to make it happen.
Yeah, man.
And I am excited to get this going, you know? Also, in a previous episode, we talked about another song that we used. And I said it's from a hair company, or a hair company was using it.
Yeah.
It's Nutrafol. Shout out Nutrafol. I ain't got no hair, so you know, whatever. But the Nutrafol commercial, if anybody Googles,
maybe they'll send you some products.
The Nutrafol commercial, you're gonna hear our first podcast background music, and it's weird because I expect to hear us, and instead I'm looking at
saying like, "What's up?"
Yeah, I'm seeing motherfuckers lose their hair, so it's different. Anyway, what are we getting into today?
Man, we're gonna talk about hard decisions and them being hard and how to make the right choice, how to make the right decision when you go when you hit, you know, those hard decisions. How do you make the right choice, man?
That is a very difficult thing. I mean, I think that if I'm gonna make a prediction.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to make a prediction
Here it comes.
that we are not going to find the answer to this.
Okay, all right, okay.
I'll
take that prediction.
Right, just because if everybody knew how to deal with difficult situations, hard situations, and resolve them, I feel like there wouldn't be really any problems.
Man, we should bottle it and sell it because I mean,
it would be better than Gatorade.
It's not the easiest thing to do, right?
It's not.
Yeah.
And it changes from situation to situation, right? So a difficult career decision has a different feeling and impact than a different relationship decision, than a different financial decision, than a different, you know. And to be able to say, hey, what is the one thing that you can do to, I mean, I guess I would say if there's one thing you can do, it's stop and think.
Yeah,
Whoa,
right.
It's two things. They're gonna be like, it's two things, Shepard. You said stop
and go
and think, right?
And think. Yeah,
so
yeah.
Stop and think. If there's two things you can do, stop and think, right? That would be my advice, right? So first, stop, like, comment, and subscribe, right? And think about how that
would assist us in our future
help
growth.
us continue to grow this show to maybe come back and finally find the answer to what it takes to be able to make those difficult decisions a little bit easier.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I think we were looking, you know, these aren't they could be actually. I was about to say they aren't monumental decisions, but they are. You know, on our road to 100 shows, man, we are making some decisions, right? And we don't know all of the answers to what those decisions will be. You know, how do we incorporate new people? How do we bring them in? You know, what are we doing with, you know, how do we see the show expanding and growing and all of those kind of things? And definitely it comes with us having to make some different kind of decisions that we really don't know the answers for.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that, you know, it could be along those lines, and it could be as serious as a relationship decision on whether you're going to stay or go.
Right.
You know, and I think all of those things, like you said, have to be tempered with a different level of understanding and maybe even a different approach. And so I don't know that there's a cookie cutter idea for any one of them, but hopefully today we'll at least share a couple with you. You know, where you can maybe find yourself being able to implement or bring in something that we may say today. So
no, for sure. And you said a couple things that are really stand outish, you know, and it's like we talk about going to 100 episodes, which we're coming up on rapidly.
Yeah.
So, you know, thank you for everybody out there that has been listening. that being said, like that's a scary thing, right? How do we go to that next level? We're starting to finally find success in the things that we're doing, and now it's like we have to elevate that. And there's a little fear there because now it's like we're gonna take our baby,
right,
and we're gonna trust we're gonna trust other people with our baby, and
literally it's just been you and me.
it's just been us.
Yeah,
just
right.
hacking away at it.
We've been in a full relationship raising this baby, right?
And now they got to go to college.
Now they got to go, right? We got to take our hands off of it and trust that what we put into it, you know what I'm saying, is going to go out there. And so
that's a hard thing, right?
It is.
It's a difficult decision to make, to see, you know, what's right, what's wrong, or maybe it's not time. And those are things that come up with everything. You know, you talk about relationships, talk about all those types of things, and I wonder, you know, there a lot of times people will say, and I think at one point, I don't know how many years ago, I'm terrible putting myself in time. I realize that.
Yeah, I don't do that well either.
I'm terrible. But what was it? There was a point in time where there was a chick, and she ended up being on Netflix, and she's about like cleaning her house out and shit. And if it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Someone out there knows, put it in the comments if you know what we're talking about. But she would basically go around and help people declutter their homes or whatever. And how do you decide if you keep something or get rid of it? And then it has to bring you joy or happiness or something like that. And if it does, then you're keeping it. And if it doesn't, you can get rid of it, right?
Okay.
And it, to a certain extent, right, it helps you make that difficult decision if you're trying to get rid of things.
So that's the gauger.
Right? That's the gauger. But it's flawed, and no one really talks about how flawed that is, because there's a spectrum of things. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're a married man, right? You have a wife. Your wife gives you a leather jacket. I don't know, right? It's a bomb ass leather jacket. You love that leather jacket. You love wearing it. Why am I putting you in a leather jacket? I don't know. I'm just
in Houston.
This is in Houston, hot as fuck, right? But for whatever reason, you want this leather jacket. You're in your leather jacket, right?
Yeah.
And that leather jacket brings you joy, and you're wearing it, and it's great, and it's this, and it's that. But if you and your wife fall out, and you or your wife, whatever, separate or whatever it is, that leather jacket's not bringing you joy, because you're mad at her because of whatever. So in that moment, it's not bringing you joy, and you're gonna say, this doesn't bring me joy because I'm mad at this person. I'm gonna pitch it, but if things get good again, then this jacket brings me joy.
Yeah. So
how can you sit there and say, in the moment, right now, I gotta make a decision if I'm gonna get rid of this. Does it bring me joy?
And joy, I think. Okay, I believe that there's a difference between joy and happiness, right?
Right.
So if we're talking about joy, I believe joy is something that transcends the current situation. Where happiness, I believe, is situational, right? I'm happy about today. I'm happy about my my lunch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I have a great lunch today. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy about that, right? I'm having a great mood because, you know, these leftovers are a bomb today.
Amazing.
I'm amazing, right? Amazing. So I'm happy about it. But joy, I believe, transcends kind of these emotional movements. And I believe that if you look at it, joy is not only connected to the good feeling. I believe you can get joy out of things that taught you a lesson too. That may not have been the euphoric, I'm happy about it, but they could have also been the thing that that completely shifted your life, but was out of a negative situation. Right. So I think we have to be careful when we start decluttering and throwing those things out that hurt me, but that hurt me and caused my life to catapult in a different direction.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I think we have to, when we declutter and we throwing this stuff out, right, and we making these decisions, we have to make sure that we don't throw out the thing that actually turned my life into the good place where I am today.
It hurts you, but in a good way.
In a great way.
Like a nipple clamp. Right?
I knew you were headed somewhere with that. I just didn't know where it was going to land. And here we are.
Here we are at the nipple clamp. Yes. So, but it makes sense, right? And I think but that's a hard decipher in itself for people to decide, right? If depending on where you're at in your journey, it's
Yeah.
hard to figure out the difference between joy and happiness.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that gets conflated, and you think about people look for things, or they have an assumption that things will bring, right? And, bad relationships. Oh, our relationship is shit. Well, we're going to have a kid because that's going to make it better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or whatever it may be. And I think that those things, that's where people have to stop and think, where they're really at and how they're really feeling towards, we're talking about decluttering, but towards the situation, the item, the whatever it is, but if you transition that, then it's a whole nother world, because, you think about, let's say, a job, right? The job is painful. Well, I don't want to say that because I'm speaking in general for everybody, but for me, it's very painful to work for somebody else.
Got it.
Right? Oh my God, it's fucking painful. It's the worst thing ever. I hate having a boss. I fucking can't stand it. But you have to do it because it pays the bills, right? And then it's one of those things where it's hurting me, but down the line it's gonna be, well, hopefully.
Yeah. Right.
It better fucking be, otherwise I'm going on a rampage. I'm just gonna say rampage, so I want people to come back to this. But he said he was gonna shoot up everybody. Right. No, I'm a rampage in my backyard by myself.
Right.
No, so hopefully it'll pay off in the end, right?
Got it.
But now that adds another level in there, because there's a big difference between deciding if I want to keep or throw away my leather jacket versus do I want to work a dead-end job, or am I going to be able to work that job and then pivot somewhere else, or do I need to walk away because for my own mental sake, right? It's bad.
So can we apply, because if we're using the same declutter thought process or mentality, right? If you keep it, if it's going to bring you joy,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not telling anybody. Well, I am. It is what it is.
Quit right now.
Yeah, wherever
just
you
leave.
are,
just walk out.
If that thing is not bringing you joy, do you?
Shit.
Send a letter right now. Type. You already have it typed.
Just
if you don't have it typed, go to Chat GPT and
figure it out
and get you one printed.
Get one printed and send it off.
But what I'm saying is do you have a plan? If you don't like it, do you have a plan in place to change it? Right? Because have you set yourself up to be able to make a decision that brings you joy? Yeah. Or are you just gonna be okay with going through the motions and complaining about it without doing something different to kind of change the situation?
No, for sure. But that's what you said there was plan. And I think a lot of people don't have a plan, and they just fire off, and then, oh, fuck this job.
Yeah, right.
And then next thing you know, you don't have a job, and you can't find a job, and you're without a job. And it's like, well, maybe that job wasn't so.
And they're not hiring 45-year-old,
at all
individuals anymore.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
You just left out there, and now you don't know what to do. But that's also a very lonely spot to be in, and as I get older and you interact with people, it's weird, because when you're young, I guess when I was young, more adventurous, more out there was a lot more risk taking that was involved, right? Because you have a little less responsibility.
Of course.
But it depresses me to see older people not make a difficult decision to better their life, because now they're about stability.
Yeah.
Right. They're about stability, and this is not what I want to do. This is not what I dreamt to do. It's not terrible, and I can pay my bills. So you know what? I'm going to stay here. I'm going to try to convince you to stay here.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be.
This is our comfort zone.
We can be safe within this box, and you don't have to do anything else, because you'll be taken care of to a certain extent as long as you stay within this box. Dude, that shit depresses the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I got you.
it makes me want to just fucking gouge my eyes out,
man. Okay.
It does.
Yeah, I got you. The thing, man, that I see, right? Life teaches me lessons, right? Everyday life teaches me lessons. And so I have a 1-year-old at the house, and she's, for the hardest thing for her was navigating the first step. She was cautious.
Right.
She would hang on, and then she would if she couldn't balance herself, put her hand on something else, she wasn't gonna move. Right. So until she got enough, like she would do this, and then immediately the hand would come down. But eventually she took a first step, right? Because there was something in her that kept pushing her to more. I see all of these other people walking without having to. I see these other people moving around, and they're not crawling. They're up on these things. I don't know what they are just yet, but they are up and they're moving around, and they're leaving me, and I need to make sure I can catch up, right? And so if I need to catch up, then something is pushing me inside, is pushing me for more. I think every day something in us pushes us for more, right? But we've gotten so locked into, you know what I'm saying? And that kid-like desire to not be left behind, that kid-like desire to grow and develop, that's innate, that doesn't take a decision.
Right.
We stifle that now. When we, like you said, we get to the point where we've created bills and, and homes and responsibilities and all of those things, and we lose that kid-like desire or that kid-like response to continue to grow and develop into something that's better than what I currently am.
Yep.
And that is what stifles the joy, because that is the most. She falls, she trips, she tumbles, she will cry, but she will get back up. And 2 minutes later, she'll be running again.
Do it again.
Doing the same thing again, right? So she never gives up on that. Like that fear hadn't set in that says, I can't.
Right.
That fear hadn't set in. Everything is an opportunity for her right now, right? It doesn't matter how dangerous it is, because she doesn't see the danger. It doesn't matter how dangerous it is. She's going to try to navigate it with everything that she has, right?
Yeah.
And at some point, we talk about how we justify it, because we say, oh, you have to be wiser, you have to be smarter, your life, should speak to all of these kind of things. But if we lose all of that, you end up locked into something where you never accomplish purpose, because purpose takes a step like that.
Right.
Purpose has to move out of that comfort zone. It has to take on that childlikeness, and it has to do something different than what you've already done, or you just continue to get what you got.
Just continue to get what you got. Nice little steady job, little house, maybe some skylights.
And that may be okay, right? Maybe you can get comfortable right there.
Comfortable.
But maybe you're supposed to have more than that.
Maybe, but you're never gonna know.
You never know.
Just laying in bed looking at your skylight, staring at the stars.
Yeah.
Wondering what's going on up there.
Right.
And I guess it goes both ways though too, right? Because I feel that there are some people out there that are making those decisions repeatedly.
Yeah.
And hey, motherfucker, this ain't it for you.
Right.
You probably should. Your difficult decision is you should probably reel it in. Go get yourself a regular 9 to 5. Right. At some point,
what if that's not? What if their continued failures, they aggravate us, right?
Yes.
Like, dude, how many times you gonna keep, what I'm not, dog, I don't have nothing else to give you.
I don't want no Herbalife.
I don't want it.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. I don't want it. Leave me alone. Stop doing it. But how many times? But what if the next time is it, right? We always see those pictures where, the person had one more scoop before they got to the goal. They bought the land, and if they'd have dug one more thing, you'd have seen the goal right there.
Would have got it.
And walked away from it.
Would have got it.
And so what if that person, that keeps trying Herbalife, and they were on, whatever else last week, and they were on whatever else that week, they just hadn't found their niche?
Yeah. It's possible. Just stay the fuck away from me, please.
Don't come around me. Okay.
Do not
do
come
that over
around
there
me.
somewhere.
Yeah, do your 999,000 jobs somewhere else, away from me. But that's I guess ultimately, even though we're bringing up these scenarios, right? Like that's boils down to what that difficult decision is, because you have, for that person, the difficult decision is, do I keep going, striking out and losing? And hopefully I win law of averages. I mean, something has to work at some time, right? Or do I say, this is not for me? I give up my dream and I settle in because I have to pay bills. You know, do I continue to plug away at something, one thing, two things, and just make those two things my goal because this is what I really want? That's a difficult decision, right? Look at this show. You know, how many shows are there that are out there? And right now it's a game of Outlast, right? Yeah. Because at some point somebody's got to see it, right? At some point somebody's going to listen. At some point we're going to get the point across. And I mean, it's not about, you know, blowing the show up, which is wonderful if it does, but it's about getting to the people that really need the information, that need to know how to make these difficult decisions. And if we stop, then someone's going to miss on it. The person that really needs it the most is not going to have it.
It's not going to get it. Yeah.
And how do you make that difficult decision? How do you decide, hey, you know, we're going to keep going, grind away, steady pace? You know, how many guests have we had on that's what they did? They know that this is what they wanted to do. Yeah. And they did it for so many years, and so many years it was absolutely nothing. And then all of a sudden, there it is. Yeah. Right. But that's very hard for people to hear. And it's very easy to get deflated if someone tells you it's gonna, hey man, it's gonna suck for about 5 years.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's difficult. That's a difficult decision.
Everything has its growing process, right? For sure. I mean, even personally, right? I've considered, when it comes down to my professional kind of movement and advancement, right? I was in a job for 15 total years, right? Yeah. Locked in, moved up from the bottom to the top, you know, and was at the place, okay, now what do I consider? And was trying to build in, you know, ways to move around and do other things, but I was never going to leave that spot, right? Because that was the consistent thing. You know, all of the changes that did happen, and now to be a full-time entrepreneur, and we were talking earlier, you know, and I was saying that, you know, I've had to go in and change kind of my daily schedule, right? I have to have a start and an end time, and I have to schedule it, because that's the, you know, people talk about the joys of entrepreneurship, but the burden of entrepreneurship is that you can do whatever you want to, right? But the check still is not going to automatically come in. You
still gotta get it.
You still got to get out there and get it. And so I've toiled with the decision of, do I go back to something that's consistent, right? And I've even tested it out, working overnights and doing all these other kind of things. And man, I almost killed myself. You know, literally, I almost killed myself doing those things, because I was burning the candle on both ends. And now I said, okay, Aaron, commit. Right. Fully commit, right? You're in it. You said this is what you're gonna do. It has produced. It hadn't produced to the level you wanted to, but you got to commit to it, right? Fully commit to it. And so that's where we are now, right? So me and my business partner had to make some sound decisions on what commitment was going to be, if we were going to see this thing to fulfillment.
The whole all the way to the end.
If we're going to see it all the way through, right? And so, and we're not there yet, right? But we're making the commitment to get there. And then it can't be said that we didn't put the energy and effort into, you know, the what was necessary to see that thing come to pass. So I mean, stay tuned. I may have a different kind of story coming, right? Based on the decision that we just made, that we're making, right?
And that's what makes it a difficult decision, because you don't know what that outcome is.
You got to have some faith in what that was going to be.
What you're putting into it, you know, and through that process is going to be more difficult decisions. Right. You know, where do you go? Is it left, right, up, down, you know, forward, backward, you know, whatever it may be, in order to get there. But you have to have the willingness, like you said, to make those. And it's a scary thing to do. And it's, I don't know, people don't like to fail. Yeah. You know, to say, hey, I fucked up, say, hey, I failed, to say, hey, I lost. Yeah. That's a shitty thing. And that can be a very paralyzing thing in a lot of ways. Because, you know, if you don't do anything, you can't suck at it. You know, you
if you stay middle ground,
steady.
then
you know, you stay steady. But that's the thing though too, and that's what makes it hard is deciding. Another difficult decision is deciding your place, because you can't have, right? They say too many chiefs, not enough Indians, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody. I mean, not everybody can be at the top.
Yep, you're right.
Not everybody can be at the bottom. Not everybody can be in the middle. Some people need to be in the middle because that's where they're going to be most effective, better. Some people are forward people. Some people are background people. And it's very hard if you think that you are a front runner to say, hey, I'm really a support.
Yeah.
I'm really a background.
Yeah, right.
You know, I thought I was a number one, but I'm really a number two.
I think that can even be seasonal and situational, right?
Right.
Because
right,
there's going to be some seasons where you are not at the top of the game, right? Where you should probably take a back seat to the process, sit down and maybe even learn, right?
Yeah.
Hone your skill, you know, strengthen that thing. And then there's situations where you're not the best in the room, right? And you need to, you know, kind of be a support as well instead of leading the pack.
You could just say, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, that
you may need to shut the fuck up.
At the end of the day.
And listen.
Right.
Because you don't know shit about what goes on in this city. Right. You know, I mean, yeah, it's very truthful, you know, when you say that. But that's hard. Like, I'm trying to think of times where I've had to do that. And it's very, very, it's very difficult. It's very,
if you
very
found
difficult.
yourself if you're always the alpha of the bunch, right? It's not an easy thing to become the zeta of the bunch, right? to go from
why you gotta go all the way
all the way to the end,
you can't
right?
be the beta. You gotta go all the way.
Yeah. Let's go from here to here. I'm not talking about here because right here you still leading.
God, scrubbing toilets.
Yeah.
All at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Very bottom.
Yeah, picking up trash.
Picking up trash.
Because that's what's necessary here, right?
Yep.
And are you able to do that, right? Because I think that there's learning from here to here, right? How much more are you learning? How much more are you changing just right here? You know, how much room for growth is there?
Right.
But there's a lot more growth if you can come back here and grow up to this point. You learn a lot more because you experience all of these things that's going to make you a better leader up here. And I think hopefully because if you're here but don't understand the plight of the person that's here, then you'll never manage them well. You know what I'm saying? You'll never get, you know, what they're going through back here to be able to understand how to lead better up here.
Yeah.
All of that's important, man.
So then how, I guess, would be for an individual, how do you feel that they decide, like, what is the identifier or the thing where they say, hey, this is a point to where I need to make a difficult decision?
What is your conversation like when you leave that place? Right? I'm
crying in the car.
Okay.
All the way home.
There's a trigger.
Just saying, hey,
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Someone would run into me.
We've always I hadn't been there.
Head on, please. Let me take my seatbelt off to make it a little bit easier. They just come on. Let's do what it do.
Okay. For people that are there and for people that are because I've learned not to discredit any conversation. Because if he feels that way, there's other people that feel that way. That feel that way, right? And so let's not overlook that. If you're feeling that way, that is a trigger. That is a trigger, right? If you're miserable, right? If you get home and don't get out of the car, you pull in the driveway,
listen to
and
some sad songs.
You know what I'm saying?
Stare off into space.
And it's not just about you taking a breath before you go in. I literally don't want to go in.
Don't want to go in.
Then what are you doing that's different to that? That's a trigger. I'm not saying what are you doing because you don't know. You don't know what to do.
You don't know what to do.
You don't know what to do. But that is a trigger that you need to get some help to try to learn some different tools how to get through that.
Why you need help?
Because you can't do it by yourself. If you could have, you would have done it.
Well, I mean, not they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. Maybe. So they just need to hear a little motivation.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna put this on then.
With this,
Replay this, because I believe that that there's a shift, there's a power, there's a desire that has been subsided, that has been covered within you, and you've just become part of the mundane situation, right?
Right.
I believe we have all of the tools we need inside of us. That's just my forte on it, right? It's either a desire to learn more, but that may be the tool. There's a willingness that's there that may have been crushed by something, but it's still there, right? There's a yearning or a drive that has now just the life has been sucked out of it by something else, but I believe it's still there. It may be dormant. It's a pilot that needs to be, that is always on, but you have to light it. You have to ignite it, right? And I believe that each one of us has that power, has that ability, but we have to decide at this point, I've had enough with this current situation that is draining the life out of me, and I'm going to do something different.
Yes.
I'm going to be a catalyst for change. If nobody else sees it, it doesn't matter. If nobody else agrees with it, it doesn't matter. I have to make another change, or I'm going to die right here like this.
Die.
And that's not okay.
Not okay. I'm going to sum that up.
Sum it up.
Stop acting like a little bitch. This is what sound like a little bitch right now. Is basically what he's saying. So quit acting like a bitch. Man the fuck up, or woman the fuck up, whatever you are, and go out there and say enough is enough. I'm gonna do it.
This is why we do this show this way, so that we have this balance. So that we have this excellent balance. Because some people are gonna hear you, some people are gonna hear me. And then some people gonna hear something in the middle.
Something right there in the middle. Like, neither one of y'all know what the fuck's going on. Let me get in these comments and set it straight.
Let me set it straight, and then you're gonna help us, right? You're gonna help us.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, man. This is good. I hope we help somebody somewhere. You know what I'm saying? In the process, and even helping us, right? Because a lot of the conversations we have, and we've said this before, they help us long before they help you. Right? Or in the same process of helping you.
Yes.
And we face decisions every day in our own life situations, right? Single, married, entrepreneur, full-time, whatever those things are. We're not saying one is bigger than the other. We're saying all of them matter. Yep. And with all of them mattering, and that they matter to you, we face those decisions, and we got to do something with those decisions. And not let them rule our lives, right? We have to make the decision to take some life back. And if taking life back is taking 20 minutes of your lunch break and actually taking lunch, if taking your life back is actually, going to the movie you said you've been trying to go to for the last 6 months, if taking your life back is saying, no, I can't, taking life back is a no sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's probably a big part of it. You've said yes to a whole lot of things. You've agreed to a whole lot of stuff, and you feel obligated to those things. No begins to take life back.
Yes, sir. That's a good end cap right there. Goddamn, going back to the late 80s, early 80s. Just say no. What was that? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Anyway, just say no.
Just say no.
Trademark. Not by us.
Not by us. We just used it for the
sake of
the show.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you enjoyed the show. We appreciate you listening for sure. But we need your help.
Yeah, we need your help. We need you to like, comment, and subscribe, so that we can continue to make great content for you guys.
Yeah. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe.